Her male best friend mocked me at dinner. She could do way better than you. I shut him down in front of everyone. She snapped, apologize or we're over. So I chose the nuclear option instead. For 3 years, Anna and I built something real. I'm a lawyer. She was a paralegal going to law school. I was paying her full tuition, bought her a car, owned the house we lived in. But there was always Leo, her platonic soulmate from college. A broke graphic designer who made undermining our relationship his personal mission through subtle digs disguised as compliments. He'd constantly bring up her ex-boyfriend. Remember that camping trip with Alex? You can't plan moments like that. You need someone who gets your free spirit. The message was always the same. I was boring. He was the gatekeeper to her exciting past. Anna defended him religiously. He's just being Leo. He was there when Alex broke my heart. At my dinner party celebrating the biggest case win of my career, Leo got drunk on my expensive wine and decided it was performance time. He started lecturing about creators versus suits, looking directly at me. Then he turned to Anna with fake concern. I just hope you're happy, Anna. Jack's stable, reliable, a provider. He said reliable like it was a dirty word. He paused, looked me dead in the eye, and smirked. But you've got to admit, she could do way better than you. The table went silent. My friends looked ready to launch across the table. Anna just stared at her plate, embarrassed, not mad at him. The lawyer in me took over. I put my fork down slowly and fixed my eyes on Leo. That's a bold claim. What does a better man for Anna look like? Be specific. Leo wasn't prepared for cross-examination. Someone more on her level, a creative who gets her. I see. So you're the gold standard. Let's examine that. I leaned forward. Anna's in law school, a top-tier program I'm paying for completely. What have you invested in her future? Leo's face went white. Let's talk about that car she drives. I bought it. You have a convertible that breaks constantly. Anna's loaned you repair money from our household account that only I deposit into. So I'm not just funding Anna's future, I'm keeping your car running. One of my friends snorted with laughter. Finally, this house. I own it. Pay the mortgage. You've been late on rent so many times, Anna covered for you with money I earned. So your position is that a man providing housing, transportation, and education is inferior to a financial black hole who tries to sabotage her relationship out of pathetic obsession. The room was dead silent. Leo sat there humiliated, unable to speak. Anna shot up, shaking with rage, at me. I cannot believe you just did that. You humiliated him in front of everyone. He humiliated himself. I just presented evidence. Apologize to him, she demanded, eyes blazing. Right now. Apologize to my best friend or we are over. There it was, the ultimatum. She was defending the parasite, choosing him over me. I looked at her with perfect clarity. I didn't get mad. I didn't yell. I just smiled. Small, sad, and final. I didn't say another word. I stood up, picked up my wine glass, and walked into the kitchen. Anna and Leo left together that night. She moved in with him, certain I'd come crawling back. For 2 weeks, I went completely dark. Instead of chasing her, I made 2 phone calls. First, to the dean at her law school. The private scholarship fund I'd established for Anna's tuition was being dissolved immediately. Second, to my firm's managing partner. The coveted summer internship I'd arranged for Anna was being rescinded due to conflict of interest. 2 weeks later, she showed up at my door looking awful. Jack, we need to talk. No, Anna, we don't.
Her male best friend mocked me at dinner. She could do way better than you. I shut him down in front of everyone. She snapped, apologize or we're over. I smiled. I didn't say a word. But when she came home weeks later, she finally learned what done really means. That's a bold claim, Leo, I said. My voice was dangerously quiet. I'm interested in your reasoning. In your expert opinion, what does a better man for Anna look like? Please be specific. Lay out the criteria for me. Leo was completely thrown. He was geared up for a shouting match. He wasn't prepared for a calm, methodical cross-examination. Well, you know, he stammered. Someone more on her level. A creative, someone who gets her. I see, I said, nodding. So, the main qualification is being a creative. An interesting theory, and I assume you see yourself as fitting this description. I think I understand her better than anyone, he said, puffing out his chest. Perfect, I said. So, you're the gold standard. Let's examine that. Let's add a few other factors to this analysis. Let's talk about something more concrete than vibes. Let's talk about investment. As everyone here knows, Anna is in her 2nd year of law school. It's a top-tier program with a price tag to match. I'm paying for that, the whole thing. It's a major investment of capital, of course, but it's also an investment of faith. Faith in her and faith in our future together. So, my question for you, Leo, as the self-appointed gold standard of what's better for Anna, is this. What have you invested in her future lately other than your consistently negative opinions of me? Leo's face went white. Anna shot me a panicked look. Jack, don't do this, she whispered. I held up a hand to silence her, my eyes still locked on Leo. I'm not done. Let's talk about the car she drives. It's safe. It's reliable. It gets her to school and back. I bought it for her. Now, you have a car, too, right, Leo? A cool little convertible that seems to break down a lot. In fact, Anna has had to loan you money for repairs at least 3 times in the last 6 months, hasn't she? Money that she took from the household account that, by the way, I'm the only one who deposits into. So, in a very real sense, Leo, I'm not just investing in Anna's future. I'm also paying to keep your little hipster mobile on the road. You're welcome. One of my buddies at the table actually snorted with laughter before covering it with a cough. Leo looked like he'd been slapped. And finally, I said, leaning forward, my voice dropping. Let's talk about this house, the roof over her head. I own it. I pay the mortgage. I fix the things that break. You, on the other hand, have been late on your rent so many times that Anna has had to cover for you again with money that I earned. So, let me just summarize your argument for the jury. I mean, for the table. Your position is that a man who provides a stable home, a reliable car, and a fully funded top-tier education is an inferior choice for Anna. And that a better man, by your definition, is one who is a financial black hole, who drains her resources, and who repays her kindness by systematically trying to sabotage her relationship out of what can only be a pathetic, transparent, and deeply creepy obsession. Is that a fair and accurate summary of your position, Leo? I leaned back. The closing argument was done. The room was utterly silent. Leo was a broken man, a witness who had just been torn to shreds on the stand. He just sat there humiliated, unable to speak. I looked at my friends who were all staring at Leo with open contempt. Then I looked at Anna. Her face was a storm of emotions. But the one that won, the one that broke through the shock and embarrassment wasn't relief. It wasn't gratitude. It was pure white-hot fury. She shot up from her chair, the legs scraping violently against the floor. Her whole body was shaking. I cannot believe you just did that, she hissed. You humiliated him in front of everyone. He humiliated himself, Anna, I said, my voice tired now. I just presented the evidence. Apologize to him, she demanded, her eyes blazing with a fire that was aimed entirely at me. Right now. Apologize to my best friend for what you just did. Apologize or we are over. And there it was, the ultimatum, the final piece of evidence. She was standing next to the wreckage of a man who had just been exposed as a manipulated parasite, and she was defending him, she was choosing him. The love I had for her didn't just die, it was executed. I looked at her, and for the first time, I saw her with perfect clarity. I didn't get mad. I didn't yell, I just smiled, a small, sad, and completely final smile. I didn't say another word. I stood up, picked up my wine glass, and walked into the kitchen, leaving her standing alone in the silent dining room. The case was closed. The verdict was in. The aftermath of that dinner was swift. Anna and Leo left together in a cloud of drama. She moved in with him that night. A decision, I'm sure, was made in the heat of her rage and his humiliation. In her mind, she'd thrown down the gauntlet. She was waiting for me to come crawling back, to apologize, to do whatever it took to fix what I had broken. She had no idea that I had simply accepted her terms. Update. Her male best friend mocked me at dinner, she could do way better than you. I shut him down in front of everyone. She snapped, apologize or we're over. I smiled. I didn't say a word. But when she came home weeks later, she finally learned what done really means. For 2 weeks, I went completely dark. I didn't answer her calls. I didn't reply to the barrage of angry, then confused, then pleading texts. I ignored the mutual friends she sent to plead her case. I was a ghost. Instead of chasing her, I got to work. My house, which had felt like our home, now felt like a crime scene. I spent a weekend methodically packing every single thing she owned into boxes. It wasn't an angry act. It was a cleansing. I was an executive settling the estate of a dead relationship. When I was done, I stacked the boxes in the spare room, changed all the locks, and reset the security codes. Then I made 2 phone calls. They were not pleasant, but they were necessary. They were the logical consequences of the verdict she had delivered at that dinner party. The first call was to the dean of admissions at her law school. I had a good relationship with him from my alumni work. I explained in calm professional terms that due to a permanent change in my personal circumstances, the private scholarship fund I had set up to cover Anna's tuition was being dissolved effective immediately. The second call was to the managing partner at my firm. I had pulled a lot of strings to get Anna a coveted summer internship there. It was a career maker. I explained that a severe and irreconcilable personal conflict of interest had arisen and the offer had to be rescinded. I took no joy in this, but my support for her was based on the foundation of our partnership. She had taken a sledgehammer to that foundation. She could no longer live in the house. Exactly 2 weeks after the dinner, she showed up at my door. I watched her on the security camera, fumbling with her key, her confusion turning to anger when it didn't work. She finally rang the bell. I opened the door, leaving the security chain on. She looked awful. The righteous anger was gone, replaced by a weary desperation. The reality of living with a broke narcissistic artist had clearly been a harsh one. Jack, we need to talk. No, Anna, we don't, I replied. You made your choice. The conversation is over. You can't just throw away 3 years over one fight, she pleaded, tears starting to form. I was angry. I wasn't thinking. It wasn't a fight, I said. It was a moment of truth. You were given a clear choice between your partner and the man who has been trying to destroy our relationship. And you chose him. You demanded that I apologize to him. You chose to defend the parasite. That's not something I can forget. The panic was starting to set in as she realized I wasn't budging. But everything we planned, she stammered. Law school, the internship? Yes, about that, I said, letting the silence stretch. The tuition for your final semester is due next week, isn't it? I hope you and Leo have a plan for that because my investment in our future has been terminated. Her face went white. What? She whispered. And the internship at my firm, I continued relentlessly. That offer has been rescinded. The firm takes conflicts of interest very seriously. She actually stumbled back, her hand flying to her mouth. The internship was her golden ticket. The future she had been so sure of was evaporating before her eyes. You can't do that, she whispered, her voice breaking. Jack, please, you can't. I already have, I said. Actions have consequences. You gave me an ultimatum. Apologize or we're over. I chose over. Now you get to live with the consequences. Go ask Leo for help. The man who is so much better than me. I'm sure his creative genius includes a plan to pay for your $50,000 tuition and replace the career you just lost. I closed the door on her tear-streaked face. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. I just felt quiet. The trial was over. The aftermath was predictable. Anna's life fell apart. She had to drop out of law school just months from graduating. The dream was dead. She and Leo are apparently still living together in his tiny apartment. I've heard from friends that it's a special kind of hell. She's consumed by resentment for what he cost her. And he's stuck with a woman who is a constant bitter reminder of his own inadequacy. He got the girl, but he got a broken version of her that he can't afford to fix. I didn't do this for revenge. I did it for myself. A relationship is a contract, and she violated the most fundamental clause, loyalty. My actions weren't a punishment. They were an enforcement of the terms. She wanted to know what done really means. Now she knows. It means the support stops, the investment ends, and the builder walks off the site, leaving you in the wreckage of the house you helped burn.